Crazy Wildcats podcast. I am your host, Mike Luke. Wow, we literally went from 0 viewers in the corner to 74 that quickly. We appreciate you all. Now, joined by Jason Shear. By the way, Shear, will you wear this shirt to Los Angeles? I very much like this. Is probably my favorite shirt that you own.
Yeah, why not?
Are you going to wear it?
They're palm trees.
All right, so I'm flying out Wednesday morning, boots on the ground with the boss, Saul Bookman. Shear, when are you getting there?
Tomorrow. I haven't decided when or how, but I'm getting.
Are you going with BJP?
It's either that or I might drive myself. We'll see.
Oh, all right. Well, Shear's a good driver when he's not doing Shear's a good driver. I'll just leave it at that. All right. We've got a lot to get to this show.
I'm the best texter and driver in America, Mike. You can
what's
say
that?
It. You could say it. The
Shear's
greatest
the
moment
best
you ever had is you drove to work that one day and you saw me pulled over for texting and driving.
Yes, and honestly, dude, this is amazing what Shear does. Shear's on his message boards 24/7, and what Shear is doing literally is he's driving and he's saying something like, "Can you believe what so-and-so just said? And then he'll say, Mike, get him for me, because I'm generally the bad guy." Shear, I've seen Shear pulled over for texting and driving, and he deserved it. I would testify against you in court.
I don't do it anymore, though. I really don't. I'm very good.
You did it when we were going to Las Vegas.
No, I didn't.
All right, well.
Erica, get in there.
All right. Anyway, all right. Nobody cares about any of this. So let's talk about who do we have here? Who do we have here? Look at those feet.
I know.
What do we have? All right, what kind of pooch?
This is the new puppy.
All right. So what kind of pooch?
We've been told it's a pug.
Pug? It does not look at all like a pug. All right.
Yeah, look at the face.
Yeah, look at the nose. Maybe still doesn't look like a pug.
Get in there.
All right. Now, by the way, people saying that I took I'm worried about Mike getting distracted while driving. I don't do that. All right.
Mike distracted me. He's so worried about driving that, meanwhile, he's just farting and I'm ready to pass out.
Yeah, and I was pushing those ones out as well. All right. Now, by the way, all the people that are getting on Duke Brennan's going to have the last laugh. When he's getting that NBA paycheck, you will thank me later. All-American campaign coming up for Duke Brennan. You agree. Oh, hey, this is not me commenting, Jacob Franklin, behind the scenes. Nice try. All right.
Typical Jacob.
All right. Now, yeah, Jacob, you were talking about shady business dealings behind the scenes. I can tell him about that. All right. Arizona Clemson. Shear, we're going to get down to all the nitty-gritty of the matchups. I have been I've spent a lot of time looking up Clemson. I feel like Jack Murphy. And Jack Murphy, I am coming for your job as lead scout. But Arizona's better than Clemson. Now, again, I'm not guaranteeing a victory, but Arizona is better than Clemson. Period, point blank. Just better across the board. What say you, Shear?
Yeah, I mean, Clemson's good. I don't want to pretend like Clemson's not good, but this is very similar to the Dayton game, where if Arizona plays well, it's better than Clemson's playing well, right? Like, there's no reason on paper why Arizona should lose this game. A lot would have to go wrong. Very similar to Dayton. People were nervous about Dayton, but it was like, look, if Arizona plays its game and defends well, it was always going to beat Dayton. If Arizona plays its game and defends well, it's going to be Clemson.
Yes, and all right, so let's break down some of the matchups. Arizona across the board is better. Maybe you could argue that their starting point guard, Chase Hunter, is probably better than Boswell, but I don't argue. But he's also not somebody that I think is going to destroy Arizona. He's not that type of point guard. Let's see here. Yucks. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do that either. That's gross. No thanks. Sure, you're going to be driving yourself, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I would never do that. That's an awful idea. All right. Anyways, enough inside talk. So let's talk about up front. Here's where it gets interesting. So you got Hall, big man, 18.6 boards, 6'10", 240. Umar Ballo should literally eat him. Umar Ballo should eat him alive. Just like you said that you would do to Zach Edey earlier this season. You agree with this?
PJ Hall's very good, and and their like entire offense goes through him. His percentage of possessions on KenPom, he's 50th in the country. Like, he takes 34. He's 34 in the country in percentage of shots. He is their offense, and they revolve around him. He's good, he has 156 3 attempts, so he's gonna try. They're gonna try to stretch the floor. The difference is between that and Deron Holmes is they don't use the pick and roll to pop Deron Holmes out. He just kind of plays outside a little bit, so he's different than Deron Holmes. Deron Holmes is better. The other difference is that when you look at PJ Hall, you can get him in foul trouble pretty easily. He's and I mean, saw him foul out against Baylor. He's had multiple games this year where he's fouled out against centers.
Well, that's the key, and that's where I wanted to get back to Oumar Ballo, leader of men, because I think there's going to be a leader of men performance from Oumar Ballo, because Hall he's been disqualified from 4 or 5 games this season, and again, Oumar is one of the players, and Mr. Tyler Warden put this up there. I actually thought it was going to be a higher number than it is, but Oumar is one of those dudes that draws fouls. He does a very good job of this. This is one of those games where I'm staying big. I am keeping Oumar Ballo in there. Again, Clemson's deep, but it's an interesting deep. But either way, I love Arizona's matchup with PJ Hall and Oumar Ballo. Again, I get that he can pull him away. Totally get that. Still taking Oumar Ballo, leader of men.
7 games he's fouled out. I can tell you right now, Arizona's first 5 possessions are going to be similar to what they were against Dayton, which is we're giving it to Oumar. We're forcing him the ball, and we're trying to get 2 fouls on Hall very quickly.
See, I'm okay with that, but I don't love that. I don't think Oumar is utilized as well when you are forcing him the ball down low. I don't love that.
But he killed Dayton early on. And I mean, I know
very small.
Yeah, well, is Deron Holmes smaller than PJ Hall?
I mean,
Holmes and Holmes was guarding him. It's a situation where it's Hall and Hunter. If they're not playing, if they're in foul trouble, they don't play well, Clemson has no chance. So if you're telling me, look, I'm going to force the issue to Oumar, or at the very least, I'm going to attack Hall. How about that? No matter who it is, I'm going right at Hall, because if he picks up 2 fouls early, Clemson's in deep trouble.
Clemson is in massive trouble. I get it. But again, Oumar Ballo just never looks. And again, I love Oumar Ballo. But when Arizona. Yeah, I know. When Arizona tries to force him the ball, generally, it kind of looks forced. Again, I get that it worked against Deron Holmes. Deron Holmes also 6'8", 215. This guy's 6'10", 240. It's a little bit different, in my opinion, but whatever. So you say force the ball to Oumar and let Oumar eat just like he eats at that Jamaican restaurant on Fort Lowell.
I just think, PJ Hall fouled out against Baylor, had 11 points. Baylor just played like crap. PJ Hall had 4 fouls against New Mexico. I just think you try to get him out of the game. Okay. And if it doesn't work, it's not you don't force him the first 20 possessions. You let Oumar, you got to have Clemson respect Oumar and make Hall guard him a little bit.
All right, let's talk Schifflin. Schifflin, very, very cool. He has a Jose Perez type build to him. Jose Perez off starring in the Dominican Republic right now. Listen, 9 points, 9 boards. Cool.
Good.
He's good. He's good. He's crafty. He's a good player. Keshad Johnson should be more than able to hold his own.
Well, I know where you're going with this, Mike. Little racist, but we'll go with it.
I would never make fun of white people.
He is Clemson's best rebounder by far. In reality, he's one of the best defensive rebounders in the country in terms of percentage. He doesn't miss many shots. He is legitimately good. But like you said, Arizona has Keshad Johnson, right? They have that length and athleticism. When he's another guy, but he's inconsistent also, right? Boston College, he had 5 points. Wake Forest, he had 5 points. Baylor, he had 11 and 6.
Here's what it is. He's good, but he's not a game changer. That to me is the difference.
If he's a game changer, that means that Arizona probably lost.
Yes.
Right? If he has 15 and 8, Arizona lost the game.
Yes, exactly. You can keep him at 9 and 9, but also let's be honest here. Keshad Johnson is doing exactly what we want. I got to get back to Keshad Johnson here for a moment. Keshad is one of those players, and I've 1000% bought into this now. You do not quite understand, you know it when you see it, when Keshad is bringing it. Again, he can have Keshad is the one that he can have an 11 and 6 game, and you're like, man, he was all over the court. Or he can have an 11 and 6 game, and you're like, didn't really notice him. It's the energy that he brings that is totally unique to this team. And again, he should be more than able to handle Shiflin.
Yeah. I mean, you would hope so, right? Like he handled Santos is maybe not as good of a rebounder, but he's good. And
Right.
Santos did absolutely nothing against Arizona.
Right. Santos did absolutely nothing against Arizona. And that's where, by the way, I got somebody knocking on my door. Buzz off. All right. Now, so then we get to Gerard. Gerard's fascinating because this is kind of the thing we talked about. And I'm going to give Tommy Lloyd a lot of credit because we were worried about, especially Shear. Shear was worried about the Dayton three-point shooters. They ran Dayton off the three-point line, just like I told you they would. And Dayton was not able to beat Arizona from down low from the three-point range. And I imagine they're going to do the same thing with Gerard.
Yeah, Gerard is interesting. I'm curious to see how they go about that matchup. Caleb Love's going to have to guard him.
Right. No, for sure. For sure.
And, can he? Yeah. I mean, he's good. Gerard's good. Don't get me wrong, but he is purely a jump shooter. Like he's not scoring in any other way.
Right.
And he's a very good jump shooter. He is an unreal free throw shooter. He's only missed. You ready for this, Mike? He's 114 of 120 from the free throw line.
140. Is that good?
It's pretty good. I think it's number one in the country. He shoots 41% from three, but he's not a great 2-point shooter. He only shoots 45% from two. You have to make him a 2-point shooter. Run him off the line.
And honestly, and here's the thing too. I know. Or go ahead, Shear. You were actually going to make a point. Was it a good point?
Yeah. Though? If you watch that game when he started to struggle and Baylor started to come back, it was due to one thing and one thing only, and that was ball pressure. Baylor waited way too long to increase the ball pressure. When Arizona faced Dayton, from the second that ball tipped, it was all about ball pressure. I would assume we see a similar strategy where every single time Clemson has a ball handler, you're increasing the pressure, and there's someone right there all the time.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. Also, man.
By the way, real quick, sorry, because everyone's asking. You don't know the refs until a half an hour before the game.
Right. So, by the way, there's somebody that has knocked on my door 3 times, and I've ignored him each time. Get the hint. Go away.
No, I think it's probably little Pete.
Well, no, my tree got knocked over, by the way, yesterday. Did you see this picture?
I did. I was really worried about you.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was not at all happy about this. It's me. No, buzz off. All right. Now, anyways, back to Clemson. So up front with Shiflin or Shiflin, whatever it is. I don't. How is it pronounced?
Yeah, it's Shiflin, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's Shiflin. All right. Shiflin and Hall, again, solid. But again, I'll take Umar and I'll take Keshad Johnson. That to me is the key. And then you start looking at their perimeter a little bit. You've got obviously Gerard, who we just talked about, who's a shooter that Arizona's going to have to run off the line. And then Chase Hunter at the point guard spot. He's a good, solid player. He's not going to be the guy, though, that is going to drop 25 points, but he's a good, solid player. There's nothing wrong with him.
Knock on wood, Mike.
Right.
When you say something like that, you
I know. It's probably.
I like Hunter quite a bit.
He's good.
I think he's good. He's not a great shooter. He shoots 41%, but he's been really good this tournament. I mean, like really good. He had 20 against Baylor. He had 21 against New Mexico. But he's another guy. I actually would go as far to say as, we talked about Hall and Gerard and all that. I told you before we went on, I think he's the key. I think if Chase Hunter doesn't play well, Clemson has no chance because Arizona has the size to compete with Clemson. And when you look at the games where Hunter struggled, 2 points against Boston College, they lost by 20. 4 points against Notre Dame, they lost. 10 points against North Carolina State, not efficient, they lost. You go back to all his games, 11 points, not efficient, to Duke, they lost. Every game that they have lost was because he didn't shoot or play well.
And that to me is why Jane Bradley is going to be huge in this game. Listen, obviously you go with Kylan Boswell. People know what I think on this issue, but you start Kylan Boswell. You do not change your starting lineup as the Sweet 16 approaches. But with the way that Jaden Bradley can defend, you got to make Hunter's life difficult. And I think that that's something that he is uniquely qualified to do. I'm very excited to see what Jaden Bradley can do because, again, I think he's going to perform very well in this game. I'm also curious if that was a little bit of a breakout performance, but he's got to make Hunter's life difficult because I agree with you. I think Hunter is the most important player on this team. And honestly, I don't even know that it's close as far for many of the reasons that you just laid out there.
Ball pressure, right? You don't give him anything clean whatsoever. And if he wants to force shots, because he'll force shots, so be it. But like again, Baylor made a mistake where very similar to Dayton. Don't let them walk up and set into their offense because they will walk it up. Right. They have no problem walking the ball up court. They are not a fast tempo team at all. They're 257th in tempo. Don't let them walk it up. They get a rebound, pressure. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona pressed a little bit. Not like a real press, but just a man-to-man, I'm going to slowly kind of guard you while you go up court because you can't give Hunter and just let him walk up court.
What this really comes down to me is this. Arizona has better players than Clemson. They're more dynamic than Clemson. Arizona should win this basketball game. Again, I get anything can happen in March. Arizona should win this basketball game. Sheer, I see you disagreeing with me. Why are you disagreeing with me?
I'm a little nervous because you thought Arizona was losing to Long Beach and Dayton.
Never said that. Never said that.
How good was it? How good was it? I just, you're like me with the NFL that one year, right? When I watched, because like with Long Beach State, you're like, I watched the championship game. And I was like, Mike, I've watched a bunch of their games. They're terrible. I don't know. And then Dayton, you were like frightened. I was like, Mike, they're not very good. I've watched a lot of Clemson games. They're very similar to Arizona during the regular season in that you can get really good Clemson. And there's been games, remember, like they beat Alabama. They beat South Carolina, who I'm not a big fan of, but, still, they were ranked. But they beat Boise State. They blew them out. They beat Alabama. They beat South Carolina. But then you look at them, and they have games where they're blown out by Miami, blown out by Virginia Tech. They lost to Georgia Tech. They lost to Virginia, Notre Dame. They lost to Boston College by 20. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get on any given night.
The line feels about right, honestly. I think I texted you. I said I think it's going to be like 6.5. It turned out to be 7.5. The line feels about right, Sheer.
And it'll move closer. I wouldn't worry about it. Dayton moved closer too. I don't know why. I think it's probably the unpredictability of Arizona. But, there's a lot of storylines. Like Clemson finished their game last night, right? Mm-hmm. Arizona was home. So now they fly back to South Carolina. They have today only, and then they're flying back tomorrow. Arizona probably got into practice at McHale today.
All right, by the way, we have our first super snaps coming in hot and heavy. What's our changes of making the Final Four? No changes to be made. We will only talk about chances. I think listen, man. We talked about it before. I think Arizona should be able to beat Clemson, and then North Carolina is probably a pick'em game. I'm going to back the A on that one, but if you can't, listen. In the Elite Eight, you got to play a really, really, really good team. That's just the way it is. Period. Point blank, Jason Shear.
Yeah, I mean that's just what it is. I'm a very game-to-game type of person. I will say this though, I'm actually predicting the upset. I think Alabama beats North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I would much rather. I'll tell it to you like this: I would much rather play Alabama than I would North Carolina. Would you agree?
Alabama's going to be. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the spread is only like 2 points, right?
Yes, it is something very close. And Arizona had a weird game against Alabama where, honestly, I don't love how Arizona guarded Alabama because Alabama just missed a ton of shots against Arizona that were like wide open. We'll revisit that, obviously.
Great text from Mr. Ben One White just now. Did you see that?
What did he say?
He said Cronin is on Coward right now, and he said that Arizona would beat North Carolina.
All right. Well, look at that. All right. Ben One White. We appreciate it. By the way,
Carolina by 4.5, by the way.
You're going to see Ben One White in Los Angeles. You're very excited about this, but we've got a bone to pick with Ben One White that we are going to get to here in a second. That sounds terrible. A bone to pick with Ben One White. But, all right, now, first, Circle K, Jason Shear. Let's be honest. Are you going to, you're going to be driving by yourself with the
information. If I drive tomorrow by myself, like I think I am, the first stop I'm making is Circle K. I'm serious.
Right. Okay. Now, but you're also part of the inner circle. This is true.
I am the inner circle.
Right. That is true. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Let's see here. Dennis Walsh asking about the inner circle. Mike, if I'm part of the inner circle, does that make me a bad boy? No, it makes you a smart man. Come on, Dennis Walsh. You know that. By the way, Sheer, you unblocked him, right?
Yeah. He was muted. He was never blocked.
Oh, you blocked Rage, though, and we are not happy about this. Sheer?
Unblocked. He thanked
Yes.
me last night unblocked.
Really?
Erica, by the way, Ben, we're not sure we can keep up with him. He has a reputation in LA.
Yes,
What
and
I
a big.
mean.
All right, should we talk about our beef with Ben? All right, here's my beef with Ben. And we love Ben One White. One of Shear's things that I've always tried to get Shear to do is Shear's actually a really fun person to be around. People that just look at Shear's Twitter persona and they're like, man, this guy's a jerk. No, he's not. Shear's a really good dude, and Shear's a fun person to be around. So this time in Vegas, you're now friends with Kyle Dodd. This is true. Can you put this video up, Jacob Franklin? We just need to have proof that people have not seen this already. Hold on. Look at this. Shear right here talking. Look at this. There's me, there's Kyle Dodd, and then look at Jason Shear. Look at this. So Kyle Dodd and Shear are now friends. And now I'm going to have him bond with other people, but then I got with Jason to bond with the GOAT, Brian Jeffries. Generally, Brian and I go out and get dinner at some point when we're in Los Angeles. And or Las Vegas. So I brought Shear along. Shear was fantastic. Guess who didn't say a word the entire time? Literally not a word, Jason Shear.
Yeah.
Ben One White.
It was embarrassing.
And here's the thing. Brian Jeffries really likes Ben One White. That is the thing that we are not at all happy about. So Ben, we need you to step the game up. So anyway,
like I'm from LA. Like the streets they're excited I'm coming back.
Dude. Oh, you are driving. Nip day.
You got a plane to catch. If Arizona like won, what I consider, you're nuts. By the way, you're just. I don't know if you're the type to go down there.
To go down to Crenshaw and Slauson
for Nip Day.
Yeah. What do you mean? What's wrong with that? They like me.
Yeah, I guess
I could go down there and I could say I like you people. And,
are we worried about all the blue and red that'll be clashing in downtown LA? If we can,
I'm gonna. But that's
Alabama red, UNC blue.
I'm
just saying.
That's a good question. But while we think about that, why don't we also think about Illegal Pete's, and then we'll get back to some real some stuff. Illegal Pete's is here to bring you a win with their legendary sound check deal. Bring in your ticket stub from any ticketed event and get a draft beer or house margarita for a penny. Illegal Pete's wants to celebrate with you, whether it's a pregame or postgame party. They got you covered on your game day needs. Must purchase an adult entree to redeem Illegal Pete's sound check deal. Illegal Pete's your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Okay, back to the game. This Clemson coach is an interesting guy. So another thing, when I was doing my in-depth research, my Jack Murphy scouting report, fascinating. He's been there 16 years. Nobody in Clemson really likes him much.
He's been almost fired like 15 times, and then he does like this year, right? Like if they didn't play well this year, he'd be fired. And then he goes out and he'll make a run and like, well, I guess we can't fire you. And like, they'll suck next year because their team will be leaving. And they're like, we're going to fire you. And then the year after, he'll make like the Sweet 16 or something. This is an old team.
Yes. He is the epitome of mediocre. Can we go with this?
Yes, but that's something that I wanted to point out also. This is the 6th oldest team in America.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are.
They're old. They're old. So they're not. Or no, that's not. They're not the 6th. They're the.
No, they're definitely old though. They're definitely an old team. I was looking
26.
This up.
Sorry,
what's that?
They're old. Arizona, by the way, 81st. But that's because they've got babies.
There was a crazy stat that there's a team still left in the NCAA. Oh, it's North Carolina. That is the same exact age that the Oklahoma City Thunder are.
Yeah, I believe it. North Carolina's average. Yeah, I believe
it's 22.4.
Baycott's 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Baycott is 4 years old. Yes.
Harrison Ingram's old. Cormac, yeah, they're old. They're old.
They are old. I really want to break down Arizona and North Carolina, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. But I don't
want to get ahead of myself either. But in my head, I was doing that last night. That is
they're identical. It's wild.
It is about as even of a matchup as you can get. Like Arizona, it really is.
So you know what? Screw it. We're going to have fun here. I don't care really what Jacob Franklin has to say. We're going to have fun. Jacob Franklin.
Yeah, Jacob doesn't like fun.
Jacob Franklin is mad at me, by the way. I do not blame Jacob Franklin for being mad at me right now, but I am hopeful that there is a little bit of a save for me. I will hopefully it's been found. But either way, Arizona, North Carolina. let's talk about this a little bit because we're going to have fun. All
I
right.
hate that we're doing this, but we'll do it for a minute.
It's fun. Armando Bacot, Umar Ballo, leader of men. Kind of the same dude.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, dude, it's across the board. Like, Cadeau.
No, don't get ahead of yourself. We're going to go position by position.
Yes, Bacot, maybe a little longer than Ballo, but yes.
He's maybe a little better.
Is he? I guess is he?
He feels a little bit more dynamic. I mean, I have that Final Four run in my mind, though, too.
He doesn't shoot threes.
I don't know. They're basically the same.
He doesn't shoot. I mean, he's a better free throw shooter, and he draws more fouls, probably. Yeah, okay.
I'll say it's negligible. How about
that? Mike, we got big news real quick.
What?
Quanzo Martin is back in coaching, baby.
Where's he at? Kentucky?
Missouri State.
Ooh, that's
big. Quanzo for life, Kentucky.
That is big. Okay, now let's talk about let's talk a little bit now about the power forward position. Harrison Ingram's a little bit better than Keshad Johnson. He is.
I don't like Harrison Ingram at all.
He's good.
I think he sucks.
Dude, he's averaging like 14 and 9. He shoots 3-pointers. He's good.
Don't care.
All right.
I really don't. He shoots 3-pointers. He shoots 38% from threes. Keshad's better from three.
All right. Who has better numbers then?
Who cares who has better numbers? Harrison Ingram is 12 and 8. 12 and 8, 14 and 6. 12 and 8 on 43% shooting. Keshad is 12 and 6 on 53% shooting.
All right. So how about this? Negligible.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, fine. Pella Larson. My bad, Pella is better than Cormac Ryan.
Wow. And you hate Pella, so that's
I'm not. I mean, again, I got to call a spade here. I was wrong on Pella.
Cormac Ryan, 25 years old.
Is he 25? Well, Pella's what, 24 or 23?
Yeah, Cormac sucks.
No, he's a really good 3-point shooter.
He shoots 37% from the field, and he shoots 34% from three.
Is that all he shoots from three?
Yeah, you just assume because he was a white guy that he shot like 80%.
Sheer always injecting race. I bring up Crenshaw and Slauson, and Sheer has to go on this whole
thing. He's super good. Mike, he's 34%. He's 70 of 200.
Yeah, he's a volume guy. All right, we like volume. All right, RJ Davis, Caleb Love.
We like volume guys.
What's that? Hold on. I don't think. Hold on. I got to address this. Listen, I have no problem with swearing. I don't personally swear. There's a lot of people who listen to the show that, when they're taking their kids, they're taking their kid to school. I don't swear, but I don't care if anybody else swears, but that's not my thing. Whatever. All right, now let's get to RJ Davis, Caleb Love. RJ Davis a little bit better than Caleb Love, not much though.
Why is he better?
His numbers are better across the board. They are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Look him up.
Oh my God, we're doing this again. You ready?
Yep.
RJ Davis, you just want straight numbers, right?
Yep, straight numbers. What do you got?
21, 3, 3, 43. Okay.
43% from the field.
Yes, 21 points, 3, 3, 43. Caleb is 18, 5, 3, and 42.
And what are the 3-point percentages?
Caleb Love from 3 shoots 34%. RJ Davis from 3 shoots 41%.
That's a big difference.
Oh,
either way, Arizona's fine though. I'll ride with Caleb Love because I have seen Caleb Love. Sheer was the one that was against bringing in Caleb Love to begin with. This is true. By the way, I like all the people on your board thinking that you have the win now on Cody Williams. Screw all of you.
Mike. Don't go. You lost that one. In college, you lost that one. How about that? I was like, now he could turn out to be good in the NBA. As a 1-year college deal, I won that one.
No, he was 11-4.
Who would he have played over at Arizona this year?
He doesn't have to play over. He's just added to the rotation.
What rotation? Where's he going?
He's added to the rotation. And by the way, we're getting back to Clemson. We're having fun. Let us have fun. Yes.
I will say this. If Cody Williams stays 3 years, I would take him. If he leaves after this year, he's a bust.
All right, let's get back to the task at hand. Sheer always getting off topic here. All right, now Elliott, Godot, Kylan Boswell, kind of the same person. Neither one looked to shoot. So,
I think Godot is better.
Godot is definitely better. It was more of a joke. This would be a game, obviously, where Jaden Bradley would have to play more. Jalen, let's get to Arizona's bench now. Arizona's bench is really, I think, the advantage that it has over every team that it's going to play against, because Arizona brings in two nuclear weapons off the bench. Jaden Bradley is obviously a difference maker, a game changer. And then you've also got KJ Lewis, who should have been a 5-star kid, wasn't rated properly, but we will take him. Finishes in transition, finishes around the hoop, comes in, and we've got to give Mo Crevis some love. Mo Crevis has been effective in both games. Arizona's got a 3-man rotation, maybe a 2.5-man rotation that really changes the game when they come in there, Jason Shear.
And it's important to, like, Clemson, for instance, because we want to talk about Clemson. They don't have a guard off the bench. Right. They've got Hunter, who, like, if the other Hunter, his brother, I think, actually. But, like, if one of the guys get in foul trouble, they've got no guard off the bench. None. Right. They play 2 forwards and Dylan Hunter for like 2 minutes a game. Arizona, let's say Boswell's playing poorly or foul trouble, you could put Jaden Bradley in, and there's no drop-off, and I know that you're going to say it's an improvement, which is fine. KJ Lewis is better than anything that Clemson has coming off the bench. And it is important in March. Having big men off the bench is cool and all, but you want guards. Like, you want guards off the bench this time of year, because if you don't have a backup guard, Hunter played 39 minutes against Baylor.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and see, that's the thing. Going into Clemson, though, Clemson plays guys that Clemson brings in guys off the bench, but nobody liked that. Again, Clemson is a fairly deep team, but it's not the difference makers that Arizona brings in off the bench.
They're 7 deep. Chauncey Wiggins, people are like, oh, he's a 6'10" small forward, but he only averages 5 points and 2 rebounds a game. And he's 6'10", and he shoots threes. If you want to shoot threes and you're 6'10", unless you're in the NBA and like Kevin Durant or whatever, right? Like, that's fine. And then RJ Godfrey is solid, 6 points, 3 rebounds, but they don't have real depth. They have guys that'll give other guys rest, but it's not real depth. I think Arizona has guys where we saw Jaden Bradley literally change the Dayton game. Clemson doesn't have a guy like that off the bench.
Well, and the thing about it too is that Arizona, the guys that they bring in, they can benefit the team. They just don't kind of just, steal a couple minutes here or there. They can 1,000% benefit the team. And I think that's where it's different, where you're not just trying to slide by with the starters. It's like with Jaden Bradley, we could ride Jaden Bradley for 15, 20 minutes here. We could ride KJ Lewis for 15 to 20 minutes. That's the difference, Sheer.
Right. Like, a lot of teams in college, you're putting them in the game to kind of give your other guy a rest, right? Like, that's what we've seen. UConn is different. Obviously, Houston isn't that much different. Like, just teams that we've seen. Arizona's putting him in to change the game. Like, hey, KJ, go in and make a play. Jaden, you're going to handle point for the next 20 minutes. Like, they're difference makers.
Right. So, and again, that's kind of where I go back to with all of this. Now we got to get a couple more reads in. We got to be able to pay the bills, my friend. All right. Now let's talk. Where should we go first, Sheer? Where should we go first? I'll tell you what, let's go BetMGM. All right. Jacob Franklin, Jacob Franklin generally hangs out at BetMGM. So if you want to go see some cool celebrities, you might go down there and see Jacob Franklin. But either way, man, there's somebody knocking on my door again. Go away. All right, here's the deal with BetMGM. Sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10. You will receive $1,500 in bonus bets if that bet loses. Check out the show notes for full details. Sheer, do you have any good MGM bets?
Arizona.
All right, now let's hear the great Shane Diefenbach with the disclaimer.
Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right. Shane Diefenbach did a great job there. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that betting line. Do you like, I think the line's about perfect, Jason Shear.
Yeah, that sounds all right. I would lean Arizona right now.
You're leaning Arizona, so you're going to back the A on that one then.
Yes.
All right. Now, I'm going to back Arizona. I'm going to back the A. I'm going to pick Arizona to win this for my BetMGM parlay. And I'm also going to back the A, and I'm going to pick Alabama to cover against North Carolina. 2 backings of the A.
That's all you do is back the A.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, let's be honest.
There's some interesting spreads. Illinois, what do you think about Illinois, Iowa State? Iowa State -2.
Ooh. You know, I got to give it a little bit of credit. I actually think Illinois is fairly good. I didn't want to say it, but I actually think they're pretty good.
I like, and I got a little crap from it, mixed opinion. I like the way the Sweet 16 is this year. I feel like these upsets are really fun. I get it. Everyone loves an upset. But we can get rid of those after the first round. I want to see the best teams facing each other. And that's kind of what this feels like this year.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. So that's what I'm going. Those are your BetMGM parlay picks, my friends. All right, now back to Arizona. Let's talk about the quick hook. Let's talk about you and I in that second half. I think Tommy Lloyd did a good job with what he did with Umar Ballo, leader of men, and Kylan Boswell. I might even need a little bit of a quicker hook, to be honest with you, because again, here's where I'm at with Kylan. I don't care if Kylan misses shots, but if Kylan is open and they are daring Kylan to shoot, he has to shoot the ball, period. If he's not going to shoot the ball, or it's going to be like a feeble air ball, I can't have him out there. It's that simple. I can live with him missing shots, but I can't live with him not even looking at the rim.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I've said it before, there's no time for growing pains. There's no time for shooting your way out of it. You are playing to win. And right. I think Tommy recognized that against, you only played 18 minutes, Mike.
Right.
It's not like you played.
I get it. But I think more of my concern, though, was in that second half. I still thought that when that lead was being chipped away and he wasn't really looking at it, I thought that they should have probably gone a little bit sooner than at the 14-minute mark, because it's not even so much about Kylan for me at this point. It's about Jaden Bradley. Jaden Bradley was an absolute difference maker, and you were doing him a favor by not having him out on the court. I think that, again, I get he played more, but to me, it's got to be more of a under 17-minute type thing, Jason Shear.
That's fair. That's fair. You either have it or you don't this time of year. That's it.
Hey, by the way, Tony Clifton, get out of here with this. Dylan is staying. This was some scurrilous reporting from Jason Shear. Remember when you were trying to push Dylan out the door this offseason? Remember this?
No.
You don't?
No.
All right. Well, either way, he did. Now, let's talk about Arizona, though. Back to Arizona, Clemson. Arizona, one thing that I can't have happen in this game, I cannot have Arizona turn the ball over silly turnovers. That's what I mean by that. I think that when Arizona plays well, you turn the ball over because they're going to play fast. I get it. But man, at the end of that Dayton first half, some of those turnovers were just ridiculous, where it's like, all right, here's the ball, take it. Those are the ones that we got to eliminate. I get that Tommy Lloyd is totally going to be okay with, more turnovers. I get all that, but you can't have the turnovers where you're essentially just handing the ball to them.
Yeah, they don't force. So Dayton was 256th in the nation in forcing turnovers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clemson is 341st.
Right.
In other words, Clemson does not force turnovers. They don't. They do block shots. They're pretty good at steals, like offensively. Defensively, they don't steal the ball. They don't force turnovers at all whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, it's the stupid turnovers, right? It's the throwing the ball out of bounds. It's
those are the ones that I can't live with. Those are the ones that bother me.
Yes, absolutely.
By the way, this is not true. We need to talk about this for a second. I think our starting lineup next. Oh, you're kidding. Good. Because every single show, somebody will tell me that Emmanuel Stephen is going to start next year. Emmanuel Stephen will not start next year. This will not happen. Now, Mr. Tyler Warden with a very interesting point. He thinks Umar Ballo, leader of men, is coming back. I brought this up a few shows now. Why in the world, tell me if I'm being stupid, why in the world, if you're Umar Ballo, leader of men, would you not come back to the U of A? You're not playing in the NBA. You're not on any NBA draft boards. You could probably come back and make a six-figure NIL. You do very well on campus. Why? You got the Jamaican restaurant on Fort Lowell. Why in the world would you not come back, Jason Shearer?
I get it.
You agree with me?
Yeah. Umar's my guy. I'll take 8 more
we'd
years.
love to have Umar back.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So do you think that there's a possibility of this?
Not really, but we'll see. You never know.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Now, the ACC has obviously done very, very well in this tournament. Do we worry at all about the ACC and how well it's done, that maybe Clemson was feasting, but they're battle tested. How about that? I'm just looking for angles.
No, not at all.
What's weird? Like, and again, I was very nervous about the Dayton game. Shearer was terrified about the Long Beach State game. I was nervous about the Dayton game. That's where it's a little bit different. But with Arizona Clemson, I'm just going to keep coming back to that. Like, this is a game Arizona should win, man. I mean, Arizona's just better. Like, who from Clemson would start at the U of A? Probably the point guard. He's probably better. He's better than Boswell, but
that's probably it.
That's it. And off the bench, nobody off the bench.
Oh, look at you. You're very kind. I like this. I like this side of you.
I know. No,
you were very scared the last 2 games.
What's that?
You were very frightened the last 2 games.
Yeah, no, I was not at all happy about that. But you know what? One thing that did make me feel a little bit better was the Gila River Resorts and Casinos, my friends. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Now, Shearer, you're going to see it if you're driving there because you're now driving by yourself. This is correct.
Yes.
That's so good. We're going to talk about that more off air. Gila River Resorts and Casinos, a fun, immersive experience. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Again, you have the cool little blue wave, It looks very, very good. Shearer, you should do that. You should go check it out.
I'm on it. I'm all over it.
All right, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Plus, I can guarantee you that Jacob Franklin hangs out there as well. If it's good enough for Jacob Franklin, it should be good enough for all of us. He's a man of the people, for the people, by the people. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. All right, Mr. Tyler Warden, you are exactly right. That's why we rely on it. Also, a very good follow on Twitter, Mr. Tyler Warden. Shearer,
Yes.
Do you follow Mr. Tyler Warden?
I don't really follow anyone on Twitter, Mike, but he is a good follow. His stuff does come up on my feed.
He's a very good one. And I generally try to steal as much information as I can because he's much smarter than me. And Mr. Tyler Warden, we very much appreciate this. You're right. Mo Krivas. Listen, there's been games. Mo Krivas is kind of the dude. He's a little bit like Kylan in this regard. And obviously Kylan's better. But I almost said Mr. Kylan Boswell. You generally know very, very early on if this is a game that Mo can contribute or not. The last 2 games, you've got the sense that, man, Mo doesn't look terrible out there. Mo is somebody that I still think is going to be able to contribute. And big Kraken in the back, be nice. We like Mo Krivas a great deal on this show.
I actually think he's going to play well in this game. I'm not saying he's going to get 20 minutes, but he should be able to at least put a body in guard Hall. It's not like Hall is some super athlete or anything like that. I would expect him to get about 10 minutes or so on Thursday.
Oh, Andre Veras, the great Andre Veras, another great. Again, this is why Lloyd brought in, and this is so true. This is why he brought in Keshad, Jaden, and Love to win on Thursday and again on Saturday. You're bringing in dudes with experience. You're bringing in guys with Final Four experience. And more importantly, you're bringing in guys that are tough. None of these guys are weenies. That's the other thing, too. No barking, this and that, and then not showing up. These guys are all dogs. We very much appreciate this.
I'm all in, Mike. I'm all in.
You are? Are you backing the A?
Every day I back the A.
All right. Here's also what I need from you, Shearer. Can you tell me Can you tell the people out there about the press conference and the term that was uttered by an Arizona media person after Arizona won?
Oh yeah, I was talking. I don't remember what I was saying. And Steve Rivera, a new member of the Back the A movement, said back the A, and I said exactly. And then I took out my phone. I said, "Can you please say that so I can record it?" And he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but he did it.
Multiple people, multiple witnesses. He said back the A.
And Brian J. Peterson was there as well as a backup witness. BJP even tweeted this out, and he told me this, so I'm very, very excited about this. I look forward to catching up with Steve and asking him about the Back the A movement and about if he is going to join the show. So here's who we have in the Back the A movement now in the media. We have Jason Shear, frontline member, Back the A movement. Brian J. Peterson came on when I was filling in on Spears and Ali, Back the A. Obviously me. I've gotten, let's see here. I've gotten Lamont Lovett to say it many times. Matt Muehlbach has absolutely said this like 10 times on his broadcast. Rhino, there's a lot of Back the A move. There's a lot of Back the A people.
If we're reaching a point where it's rare if you're not Back the A, right?
Yes. No, it is. You're one of those weird, like there are people like, yeah, no luck. Oh, didn't Lev tweet out something one time?
I believe so. I'm
pretty sure he is part. Sure, tweet that at Lev. Your buddies with Lev. Tweet that at Lev and say, didn't you say at one time Back the A on Twitter?
I'm all over this.
All right. Yes, I think maybe. So, anyways, we're gonna keep you. Oh, Spears won't do it. I've tried many, many times. I'll keep trying. Bruce will 1,000% not do it, and Bruce will never do it. We agree on this.
Yes, Bruce will never do it.
You said Bruce was a mess in Utah, right?
I love Bruce, but he was a mess.
Yes, he was. Okay. So Arizona, though, like I said, going to keep coming back to it. Arizona should win this game. I think 7 points is about right. By the way, no better time to become a PHNX member, my friend. All kinds of good stuff going on. Jacob Franklin, pull this shirt up right now, if you don't mind. Ollie Farhang backs the A for sure. All right, these BTFD shirts, these things are going like hotcakes. Look at this thing. Look at this. Tony Cimino one time even said that he was buying one of these. I need to see Tony Cimino wear it, though. I have not seen it. Go PHNX, get in the locker, check this out. Oh, and loyalty. Jed Fish was the first one that bought one of these shirts. And again, check it out. Loyalty. There you go. Now, all right, back to this. Here's where I'm at with Arizona. You got to be Clemson. This should not be a difficult matchup. This is something that Arizona, you get, and you know what? In the Elite Eight, you take your chances.
Yeah, I mean, this is a matchup that Arizona should win. Now, stuff happens. It's March, all that. On paper, right now, looking at the game outside in, this is a game that Arizona should win.
All right. Shear, where can they find you doing your business? And again, Jason Shear's a nice person.
Yes, wildcatauthority.com, at Jason Shear on Twitter, and the Wildcat Scoop podcast with Shelby. We're going to record our preview podcast tonight.
Right. All right. On that note, and Totri is part of the Back the A movement. We've already. Yeah. Do you have that, Jacob? Can you pull that up? By the way, real quick, before we were going.
Back the A. Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devil Show.
Wow.
One more time. I love the porn music in the back.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Back the A. Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devil Show.
That was his loss music. It was the loss music. Like, that's the music they played after a loss. So we played that a lot.
Look, backing the A can be very romantic.
Yeah, it can. There have been babies made with Back the A. That's what I'm telling you guys. It is a big part of it. Back the A is big. By the way, what do you think of this cup right here? Isn't this cup awesome?
Did you get that at Circle K?
No, I wish I got it at Circle K. Oh, hold on. You guys are jealous.
Back the A. Wow. How much is that going for these days?
I don't know, but Mike Baldwin, the great Mike Baldwin, gave this to me.
Wow.
Mike Baldwin, very good person. I also have a Back the A. Somebody has a Back the A shirt, but I'd love to get that.
Arizona wins the title. Aren't we getting matching Back the A tattoos?
You know, I've had multiple people ask me. I'm not a tattoo guy.
Me neither.
Oh, yeah, you're clearly not a tattoo guy. I would consider it. I would consider getting a Back the A tattoo if Arizona wins the national championship.
No, you wouldn't.
Probably not. I'm terrified of needles. I couldn't probably do it. But
consider it. I'd consider.
Would you? Tramp
A
stamp
little.
at the A.
Yeah.
Or how about, here's what I still don't get. Why not just put an A on your back? Doesn't that count as a back?
Yeah,
A?
no, that's what I mean. Just like I wouldn't say back the A, just an A on my back. So I'm
Would
always
you?
backing the A.
Yeah, you're literally always backing the A. That's where it is. Okay. Shearer, we've done really good work. We had over 340 lives today. Very, very impressed. Okay. Now, you guys are all the best. We rely on all of you for this. We wouldn't be here without you. But on that note, for Jason Shearer, Jacob Franklin is stepping in when he needed to. I am merely Mike Luke. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.